I'm gonna go ahead and lift him up for a second so you can see the size of the snake. Just something I've done a million times.
Today, we're heading to the Florida Everglades to search for giant Florida cottonmouths. You see, a lot of people say that these snakes are aggressive and that they will actively chase you. Now, clearly, my hundreds of cottonmouth finds in Louisiana just aren't enough to convince people. So, we're going to be looking for the biggest, gnarliest Florida moccasin we can find, see how it behaves, and see what you should do if you ever have a bad encounter with one. To do this, I started the day by heading out to meet up with my friends Eli and Luke, who already know where some big ones like to hang out.
Yo, where are y'all? I may or may not be slightly lost. I don't know where I am. My map's not working. You know what's funny is, even though I'm lost, I'm probably still gonna find a snake because this habitat actually looks pretty good in the surrounding areas. So, I mean, I don't know, I might get a diamondback right here.
All right, so we're out cruising right now and we just got a call from Zach. He found a huge corn snake, so we're heading his way. We'll update you whenever we arrive. What the heck?
Not an indigo. Sorry, failed.
Oh my gosh.
It's there too.
Two beautiful colubrids, dude.
Bro, how?
What's really unique about corn snakes is they're also known as red rat snakes, but they're completely different species from the gray or eastern rat snake. Super chill temperament as well. Hopefully that'll continue.
He says as I have the bite on my arm. Now they are chilled though. That one chilled out quickly as well.
Honestly, it's one of the most beautiful
That's
snakes.
one of the nicest corns I've ever seen.
Here you go. Buddy. Tap his tail a bit and get him on his way.
Florida wildlife usually isn't too hard to find, but we had a pretty particular target, so we headed out to the cypress swamps, a habitat that these snakes are very plentiful in, and absolutely no luck. I got a bit bored in the crazy heat, and I started to try to catch some native turtles in this area.
I think it is.
Yeah, 100%. No gator?
I don't see anything. I can't say for certain though.
What I'll do, I'll just slash him really quickly. Thank you, sir. It's a red belly.
Dude, no way.
Let's
oh,
go.
there's something in the bottom of his shell. Bring him up here. What is that? Did something literally grow in his shell?
Yeah, that's a wood chunk. This is a big red belly. Like this is
It's the biggest I've ever seen.
probably about 12 pounds, honestly. Like it's a fat, heavy turtle. Called red bellies because they got that little bit of red tinge. Some of them have bright red bellies. This one doesn't really have that. And you look at that face, got that little cooter face and some nice red. Native species here in Florida. Really great slider. All right, don't get eaten by gator.
The heat is absolutely insane in South Florida right now, which means we're gonna have to wait till night for cottonmouths. Luckily, we still ran into some cool creatures along the way though.
As we were going down this little canal right here, we came across a river otter, North American river otter, and he's actually hunting. Look at him.
Honestly, this was the coolest encounter of the day. A juvenile North American river otter chasing and eating catfish in this little roadside canal. Not the target, just figured I'd share. With the sun finally going down, the snakes would begin to move again, and with these conditions, we were all but certain to see our target. But it was taking a lot longer than I thought, so the car discussions became pretty questionable.
I've had the same thought. I'm like, you know what? If a mountain lion jumps me, I can fight it.
100%.
I'm like, listen, as long as I can protect my neck, that's the biggest thing. If I let him get my neck or my eyes, I'm done. I'm gone. I think I'm stronger. Okay, that might be a bit much. I think I can beat a mountain lion in a fight. That's my opinion.
I don't think I know I could.
Yeah.
I just have to jump on it before it jumps on me.
Well, no.
All right, comment section. If I belly flopped on you, would you survive?
On you?
I don't think so.
You're calling people out
okay,
personally.
no, because well, I'll call you out. I can fight you too. I'm saying.
It did take us a while, and a few swarms of bugs.
Dude, why are there so many mosquitoes? These are all biters.
I left the window open.
Luke.
But we were determined to find our target snake. And then, in just a split second, we saw one booking it off the road into the grass.
Woo, he's a hefty boy.
Yes, sir.
Have a look at this. Ooh, hey buddy. This is a great example of a huge Florida moccasin. Now, if you think I'm too close, it's probably because I am. This is a massive moccasin. He's staying coiled up for me there, but I gotta be ready to jump back quick because these guys got a good bit of spring on him. This is a fat one. He's probably, goodness, pushing close to 4 foot, but he's fat. He's like that big around. This is a big, fully patterned Florida moccasins. The Florida moccasins get a good bit bigger than the westerns on average, and while the record is currently held by an eastern moccasin, on average, Florida moccasins are the biggest moccasins. Now, Florida moccasins can be hard to identify sometimes, and we've seen that today with water snakes and things like that, where you really got to make sure you know what you're looking at. All that banding can be very different from location to location, but oftentimes they can be banded, solid. The babies are almost always patterned, but the adults, not so much. So you really got to play it by a case-by-case basis and not jump the gun and grab something you can't identify. Once you see that head, that big band on the side, those big gnarly pits, those big old eyes, those big slit eyes, that's when you know you're looking at a moccasin. Another thing is they're very keeled. They got very rough scales. And a lot of water snakes have that, but theirs are definitely more pronounced. Look at that tail going. You know, it's kind of funny. People will actually mis-ID cottonmouths as rattlesnakes. They'll kill them and say, oh, I killed a big rattlesnake, because they get so huge and they rattle that tail. Watch his tail. For a second, you could hear that little, just a little trill of his tail hitting the concrete. But when he opens his mouth, he's got that big, bright, white mouth. That's why they're called a cottonmouth. Very good defensive display. Now I'm gonna go ahead and lift him up for a second so you can see the size of the snake. This is something I've done a million times. And it only takes one to die.
Now you might be thinking, Zach, that snake went straight for you, he was gonna get you, and no, this snake was not out to get me here. He moved pretty much when I moved him, and went in the original direction he was heading to, away from the lights and camera. This snake just wants to get away, but he is entirely cornered. He didn't even open his mouth here. My reaction was to quickly move out of his way, as to never actually be in strike range. But overall, this is a pretty typical interaction. And while some might confuse this for a moccasin chasing me, I can safely say that he is just trying to move away from me at this point.
There we go. First loop. There we go. Woo! He's all stretched out there. And he's not biting at the hook. This is a viper. It's a pit viper. They know very much so what is you and what is an inanimate object. Luke, what do you know about moccasins?
I know they make good shoes.
Bro, it's not that kind of moccasin.
Nah. So these moccasins are Florida cottonmouths. They eat a lot of fish. That's pretty much their main diet. But they actually have been known to eat roadkill. So dead frogs in the road and whatnot. So that is pretty unique with these type of snakes. It's very interesting, really.
Yeah, they'll eat other snakes too. You can see them sometimes with a little ribbon snake or a water snake hanging out of their mouths as they sit on logs. It's crazy. They're actually a pretty food aggressive species. They'll chase down fish very quickly. In fact, one of the very few times that these snakes will approach people is if they've got a fish stringer on their side. And it's like, ooh, a fish. And they'll like follow after the person to get their fish. And a lot of people think, oh, this moccasin's attacking me. It's like, no, it just wants your fish.
One of the unique features of the cottonmouth to help distinguish them from the Nerodia, like Zach was talking about earlier, is actually that eye stripe. You can sort of see it right here on the front of the eye. That eye stripe will run along the entire face, through the eye line. That's a fantastic identifier of these snakes. And in fact, another feature to look for, Nerodia or water snakes, they'll have lip markings that are actually vertical rather than horizontal. So one of the best identifiers, not saying you should get this close, but is to look at that eye stripe right on the side of their face. The mosquitoes out here are just eating us alive. But if you've noticed, the cottonmouth has not ever chased us, attacked us, come towards us. In fact, it's done the exact opposite. Because of that light shining on us, it can't see that way, so it can't see whoever's filming, and it decides to just run away from us, in fact.
So you're saying that I'm safe and y'all are in the kill zone right now, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, better not be actually.
So
My mom said I couldn't be.
Oh,
I've been bit, oh no. If you've been bit by a venomous snake in Florida, the best thing you could do is called the poison control. You need to call them, they will tell you what to do. You need to positively ID the snake if you can. If not, you need to just tell them, hey, I've been snake bit. Will you put me through with a 911 operator? And what they'll do is they'll call 911 for you. They will probably intercept to where you are, and then you will be taken to the nearest hospital with Crofab, which is a anti-venom, and that will help you. So there you go.
I do recommend leaving them whenever you see them in any kind of natural setting, especially places like this. Looks like he's ready to get on his way, so we're gonna go ahead and let him do that.